it is safe to state that the grandchildren of some of the people in this dinner will not be born on Earth. They come from the bowels of hell, a transformed race of walking dead, zombies guided by a master plan for complete domination of the Earth. Plan 9 from outer space. Starring the most nightmarish cast ever, Bela Lugosi, the seductive Vampira, and Tor Johnson as the Walking Dead.
Turn off your electrode gun! No! No! Stop it, Dennis!
I can't get it, it's jammed!
Stop him, you fool!
Bullets bounce off their bodies. Rockets, missiles, jets cannot stop their death ships. What earthly power can stop this terror? For a glimpse of things to come, see this blast of screen suspense. For it could be happening right now.
So 1957, I hope I'm right about the year. I want to say 1957. I don't know if it is unfair to say it, but the classic Plan 9 from Outer Space from Ed Wood. This is a science fiction movie, I guess. I think it's probably more of an unintentional comedy about aliens coming to Earth and initiating Plan 9, which has something to do with resurrecting the dead to then taking over the Earth and then profit. But this is not a plot movie, like at all. The experience of this movie is stop wanting or expecting anything from it. Like scene to scene, moment to moment, there is such a uniformity to the amateur, to the uncomfortable, to the just incompetence wall to wall going on, that it really does genuinely magically transform into something transcendently amusing. So when it's included on like worst movies ever, I get what they're saying. I get that the acting is terrible. I get that the screenplay is just brutal and the production design is at best sloppy, and even that the director, despite how Tim Burton likes to sort of frame him as a man who's so drunk in love with cinema that he is, taken over by his own spell, I feel like a director willing to serve his audience this poor a meal has to, on some level, not respect them. So how after all of this can I say I don't think it's one of the worst movies of all time, because I enjoy watching it. I laugh at it, not with it. I've done scenes from this movie for like a drama exercise. Like, you're an actor and you've been handed a terrible script. Do your best. And as a clinical study of how not to make a movie, or just to see how something can go spectacularly wrong, this is absolutely worth watching. And because it's less than 80 minutes long, it doesn't necessarily, although it does feel its length, it doesn't overstay its welcome in the way that some of the really, truly awful movies I've experienced do.
Oh, yes.
I was taking the ride, I guess, with the movie. Now, the tricky part is, like, do I like the movie after all those mean things that I've said? And that's what we'll talk about. But I guess I enjoy this movie because it's bad. And that's where I stand.
Okay.
But I'd love to hear where Beckmann lands.
I'm in love, Larry.
This was your first viewing.
I hadn't seen this before. I had seen Ed Wood back in the day, and I love that Tim Burton movie. I'm sure some of it is very sugar-coated, but I don't care.
I don't know. I was just guessing, but yeah.
This is the kind of film that, like, Max Fisher from Rushmore would do as a play.
Right.
which would remind me that, like, my friends and I, we attempted to do a stage version of Predator for our school. We did it, but with like no sets and like very little sound effects. But I'll get to that later. Oh man, I told Jolene that I might leave you for a little while just because I'm cheating on her with Plan 9 from Outer Space. I want to like actually read back to you one of the lines of this most meandering screenplay. Colonel Tom Edwards, in charge of saucer field activities, whatever that is, was to make the greatest decision of his career. He made that decision. Colonel Edwards gave the signal to fire. Like, wow. Wow. I think that line sort of signifies the film just aptly. It's like the flying saucer. It's the flying saucer with strings. It's the meandering script. It's the ongoing battle sequences with the army versus saucers. It's the Captain Obvious narrative. I love that narrative. Oh my god. Even when he's like egging the viewers on at the end of the movie. Of course, it's true. It's believable. The bookends of the narrator, It's the like night to day continuity errors. It's the villain monologuing. Oh my god.
Well, and it's all built out of these weirdly interesting characters, but they're interesting sort of for their life around them and the world outside. Yeah. Like, Bela Lugosi had died.
Yep.
So he used some previously shot footage and spliced some very unconvincing, doubles to have him in the movie. And I believe that he was legitimately friends with Bela Lugosi. But tell me that there's not something a little bit gross about that, right?
Gross? I don't know. Look, like the film they were trying to do is a film called The Vampire's Tomb. Who knows whether Edward Jr. was manipulating Lugosi towards the end? Do you? Like, do you want to take that sort of...
I don't know. Like, again, I wasn't there, but I'm just saying to defend my approach. Like, Vampira by herself, an interesting character, but she only agreed to do the money for a quick payday and on the condition that she didn't have to say anything. Tor Johnson is a really beloved physical wrestler sort of performer, but his performance in this movie is just a clinic in bad acting, right?
Well, but the lines he's given, like the dialogue alone, at some point, like it just could sort of meanders off into weird, obvious statements. It's been a while since I've loved a bad movie this much.
Criswell, the guy you say who bookends the movie that Jeffrey Jones plays in the Tim Burton movie. Yeah. Like, he himself, really interesting, bizarre guy, doesn't contribute anything to the movie.
No.
I appreciate the sort of roughneck spirit of Ed Wood, but I think he's a percentage sort of scummier and sleazier than, like I say, he was maybe represented in the movie.
Oh, I'm sure there's a sleazier angle to it.
But say what you will, he got a church to fund Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yes.
He got all of these people together, and even though none of them had any skill, he had a film that he made in 1957, which is still being talked about today and will continue to be talked about into the future. So, in a way, Plan 9 is bulletproof. Like, when I call it a classic, I'm kind of serious. It is the classic bad movie.
So bad it's good.
Yeah.
I'm taking, in some ways, what we have. I mean, here's another question for you, Sir Parsons. You've made a feature-length movie. At any point, did you worry that you were going to make something as epically bad as Plan 9 from Outer Space?
I worried that I was going to make a movie that I wasn't happy with, or that might be perceived as, amateurish or whatever. I guess I had my own insecurities about it, but I didn't think I was making a catastrophe. And I think at that point, making the movie, the worst failure would be to not finish the movie. At that point, I would rather have made a mediocre movie or even a bad movie than have just failed to make a movie altogether.
Yeah.
And there is something sort of about desperately crawling over the finish line. And my guess is that's where a lot of not-so-great movies come from. Either they run out of money at a time or, Yeah, too many cooks, right? They just get bullied out of the movie they were making.
Yep. Well,
Neither of which I think happened here.
I do agree. There's this sort of Jack Shoulder mentality of shoot first, ask questions later, and I think very much Edward D. Woodward Jr. I think his full name was very much that. But he came together and made this madcap of like just this monstrosity of a film that is just inept at filmmaking at all sort of levels. I can't bring the hate to it.
No. And again, I'm trying. This isn't necessarily hate. I do, like I said, enjoy watching the movie. And I really enjoy the movie Ed Wood. I just suspect that our vision of this movie and of Ed Wood himself is a little bit colored by that particular portrayal.
Okay, you know what? I will agree with that.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to not associate the two things, because that's when I really first discovered Plan 9 from Outer Space. I knew that Ed Wood was going to do a movie about... at the time, I thought it was a movie just about Plan 9 from Outer Space. I didn't realize it was like sort of a mini biopic of Ed Wood. Okay. But the whole thing is shot in the style of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yes.
So I kind of watched it originally as homework for that movie, for the Ed Wood movie. And I agreed that it was terrible. And then, like I said, the drama class, we had that assignment where we did scenes from Plan 9 from Outer Space. And then I just randomly bumped into it again. Dubray gave me a copy of this not that long ago, actually, because for whatever reason I didn't have my own physical copy. And here we are reviewing it. For a bad movie, I've seen it a lot of times. Like, unless it's, I don't know, something that you just guilty pleasure love, or it's like part of a franchise, Friday the 13th. Usually if a movie is infamously, shamefully, oh my god, incompetently bad, it's not something that you revisit. But Plan 9 is the movie you want to show to someone who hasn't seen it. That's its weird power.
Yep. No, God, I love the main villains, by the way. I love the aliens.
The aliens are just amazing.
Eros and, like, I think Tanner. Oh God, what is it? I know Eros is the guy who does, like, the long monologue.
And talks about how stupid humans are.
Yes. Oh God. Is it Edith? Maybe.
Yeah. The aliens, by the way, look just exactly like people.
That was his, like, female companion.
What was her name?
Tana,
okay.
E-N-N-A.
Yeah, they do look pretty much just like humans. There's nothing spectacular about the aliens at all.
No, and their greeting is also lovely. Them beating their chest, like, aww.
There are small, lovely details throughout it. You can see the edge of the sets in a couple of shots.
Larry, I love this movie. I am robbing my buttered belly on this cover right now, buddy. You have no idea.
Stock footage. Awkward performances.
No, like the funeral scene with, like, Bela Lugosi, he kills it in this movie. I love it. Just like the overacting, and looking up at the sky.
It's not uncomfortably bad, at least not always.
Yeah.
It's sort of changes in scene for scene in how it's approaching the badness.
Yeah.
I don't know. It really is like almost found art. Here's a weird thing that I had myself thinking about last time I watched the movie.
Okay.
Do you know the movie Blow?
Yes.
With Johnny Depp and Ray Liotta?
Yes.
There's a scene between a father and son in that movie that for some reason popped into my head watching Ed Wood, or thinking about Ed Wood and how the fuck he managed to make this movie and get his friends involved with it, and, like I say, have a church finance it, and, like, how did he do it? How did he make this happen? What kind of force of will do you have? And in Blow, Ray Liotta says to his son, because Johnny Depp just confesses to his dad, "I'm really good at this, Dad. I'm really good at it." And his dad responds, "Yeah, son, but I think you would have been good at anything." And I think Edward's power was, like, he could get shit done somehow. He was a guy who could get shit done. The quality of that shit, well, was shit.
Yeah.
But give him his due respect, man. He
Yeah.
got shit done.
See, I have this theory that all good directors, and when I mean good directors, I don't mean like directors that make good movies. I mean people that are somewhat organized enough. Like Yui Boll has a longer list of like a longer. He has a track of movies that he's made. He's not a good filmmaker, but there's a certain con man angle, I think, to almost every sort of filmmaker, where at some point you have to convince a group or people of people to give you money so you could tell like Sand Shark
Yeah.
or The Velocipaster. Like just so yeah, was Edward Wood probably a con man of sorts, but aren't they all in some sort of way?
And he created something, like I said, that love it or hate it, has endured.
I mean, he wrote the line, modern women. They've been like that all down through the ages. Like that itself is like it's an oxymoron. No. Or now, don't you worry. The saucers are up there and the graveyard is out there, but I'll be locked up safely in there. Like, just what?
I like in the graveyard scene where you can actually see some of the graves sort of flopping.
They even have a character called Patrolman Larry.
Yep.
They have a character called Patrolman Larry with, well, that is why you're a detective lieutenant and I'm still a uniformed officer.
It's the type of movie where a police officer will scratch his forehead with the butt of his gun.
Yep. See? I think this movie was a gift from the cinematic gods. I really do. Of course, like, he didn't know what he was doing. Like,
Yeah.
he's of, like I said, the Jack Shoulder school of shooting. Cut print, even like Cohen, not Rob Cohen,
Larry Cohen.
Larry Cohen. Like, these people need to be celebrated at some sort of level.
Yeah, but I think that, like, the Larry Cohens of the world, basically they're guilty of being too ambitious with their budgets, and there's something charming about that. And I think that a lot of the times those kind of filmmakers can pull something off in spite of themselves.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure that Edward pulled this off, but something happened here. Some sort of magical, modern art masterpiece was created by sheer fate.
Yep.
Good enough?
Yep. Oh, yeah. What about that weird, annoying siren sound? That's something that else I don't quite get. But, yeah, no. Good enough.